Hey guys, happy Sunday. Hope everyone's well. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel and I'm a health coach for female entrepreneurs, and I help them to take the frustration out of weight loss so that they can have the confidence to rock it out online. So I wanted to jump on here today. I was actually doing my own meal planning, and I thought, hey, this is a great tip to share with you all as we are at the end or beginning of the week, depending on, where you're at with things. So yeah, I wanted to, one of the reasons why we start our businesses is because we want to have more time to take care of ourselves, more time to, work out or, cook meals for ourselves or, do those things that we consider taking care of ourselves. And oftentimes when we start our businesses, that doesn't always end up being the case. And I know for me that was definitely my journey, because there's so much to learn and such a huge learning curve when you start out. You often don't have the bandwidth to necessarily focus on that and this bigger case of self-care that you want to take on. You're learning all about lead pages, like your clients, ClickFunnels, sales, and all this stuff. And it's a lot to learn. And, for some of us, or a lot of us, it's new to us. We've never done it before. And so it often becomes all consuming because we want to get our businesses off the ground, we want to be successful. And then we wake up a couple of months later, or, depending on how long it takes you, a year or so, and we realize that our health actually wasn't our priority during that time, which is fine because, we're all wanting to build our businesses as quickly as possible. But then we have to do not necessarily damage control, but we have to go, okay, well, my health wasn't actually priority. Now I have to sort of fix it and make it a priority. And that was definitely my story. And for me, it was really hard because being a health coach, I was supposed to be teaching people how to be healthy. And, during the first stages of my business, it was probably the most unhealthiest time for me. And so I felt really misaligned, I think is the word, with my message, because I was teaching other people to be healthy and to how to lose weight and all that, whereas I was probably the unhealthiest I've ever been, and probably the heaviest that I've ever been. And so I couldn't really connect with my clients in that way, which was really difficult, and probably ended up causing me not to show up online as much because I wasn't confident in how I felt. And I didn't want people to see that. And so because I didn't feel aligned with my message, I didn't feel like I wanted to promote it, etc., etc. So you may or may not be able to relate to that story. I want to make sure that I've got my notes here because I want to share this important information with you. So what I want to share with you today is a couple of tips that, 3 actually, on how to meal plan like a boss. And so this way that I sort of plan my meals each week is, I've sort of honed it over time. It's definitely the most efficient way that I've ever done it. It's the most enjoyable as well. But because we have so much happening as business owners and our focus is pulled in so many different directions, doing it, planning our meals and that kind of stuff sometimes seems like less of a priority when we've got a launch coming up, or we've got clients happening this week or whatever, and you think, oh yeah, I work from home or whatever the case may be, and I can grab something healthy during the week. And what I found was that doesn't actually happen because we're so busy during the week that those healthy decisions or choices actually don't happen because we're not actually focused on that. So I honed this meal planning method that I use, notification. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today, because hopefully it's helpful to you. So what I first start off with is I have a meal planner that I use every week. It's actually my own. When I first started it, I created this, or someone else created it for me. But I actually still use this every week. So what I do is grab yourself a meal planner for the week and get yourself, so that's the first one, a meal planner and a shopping list, right? I bought this from Kmart, no big deal. So this process can take me about 15, 20 minutes tops. And if you think about that 20-minute investment max, or if it takes you 30 minutes or whatever, you can get it, if you keep practicing, well, not keep practicing, but the more you do it, the quicker you get at it. So if you spend that 20 minutes or 30 minutes each week planning out your meals, that that investment in time is actually going to serve you in the long run, because you're not every night after work going, oh, what am I going to have for dinner? It's already taken care of. That decision is already made for you. And so you don't have to then spend 20 minutes thinking, what's in the fridge? Do I need to buy anything else? Etc., etc., which is what used to stress me out the most. And then because of that, and because I felt like I didn't have the time, I used to then make unhealthy choices, which is, was a vicious cycle, because the more unhealthy choices I made, the more unhealthy I was, and and that cycle just continued. Not fun for anyone. So the first step is get yourself a meal planner. Really important. I mean, you don't necessarily have one, like this. You could just get a piece of paper and write out the days, but it's a lot easier when you've got it in template form, because then you just have to write in the dates, and you don't have to write breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That stuff takes up time. So meal planner, shopping list, important, first step. The second step is to have on hand, and this changes as season changes, as your interest changes, have on hand a couple of recipe books that you love to use. Now, I'm not saying that every night of the week that you need to be like, a Gordon Ramsay and cooking up amazing 3-course dinners. That's not the point of this at all. This is to give you some inspiration of what you're going to cook. I look for recipe books that are super simple, super easy kind of stuff. We're not, like I said, Gordon Ramsay's here. But also, it's like what I used to find was that because I couldn't come up with, a lot of stuff every single week, I was starting to eat the same thing over and over again. And because you're eating the same thing over and over again, you tend to look for things that are going to give you variety. And that's when you make the unhealthy choices. Like if you're having, chicken breasts and steamed veggies every night, you're going to want that chocolate. You're going to want that, chocolate mousse or whatever it is to spice up your eating for the week, which is the unhealthy choice. So if you include those, something interesting, something excited, something that you can't wait to eat, you're more than likely going to stick to your plan. So the ones that I have on hand at the moment and have done for about the last 6 or 7 months have this one by Lola Berry. It's Lola Berry's A Little Book of Smoothies and Juices. This to me is like the ultimate smoothie book. Like I am a smoothie queen. I love smoothies. I have them every morning for breakfast. Absolutely love them. They're super easy. You get so much bang for your buck in terms of nutrients and what your body is absorbing. And this has got so many great recipes. A lot of them you can adapt so they're gluten and dairy free if that's an issue for you. And there's a lot in here that's like very exciting to eat. Like I reckon there's one in here that's like apple crumble flavored, which like literally tastes like apple crumble, but it's actually like it's quite good for you. There's not lots of sugars and everything in it. So this is the one I have on hand. And what I do, little side bonus tip here, is when I have a smoothie that I really like, I will usually like dog-ear the page, and I'll also write notes. If I've put something in that I didn't like, or I left something out that I felt like I didn't need, or I needed to add more water or anything, like I usually write on my recipe books, because then those are notes for me next time that I want to use it. I don't think I've got anyone, can't find anyone that I've written on in here straight away. But anyway, so that's the first one I use a lot. The second one that I always have on hand is this one by Jessica Seppel. It's called The Healthy Life, and there's a lot of great recipes in here that you can adapt. They're sort of like everyday, what I like to call everyday recipes. It's not like we're gonna be doing a 3-course meal, and a lot of these are gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you have to subscribe to that way of eating, but they're really healthy recipes, but they're also really, really yummy and also really easy. So that's the second one I have. And this winter, I mean, I know things are getting warmer now, but I had this one on hand a lot. One pot favorites by Pete Evans, because it was so easy to like prepare the stuff the night before and just put it in the slow cooker during the day, and then by the time everyone's home from work, dinner is ready. So I have these on hand, and a lot of the time, I'm flicking through them, like, oh, that looks like a good one, that looks like a good one, I can't wait to make that one. And so when you come into your meal planning session, you already have a kind of idea of the things that you want to try out, new recipes you want to experiment with. So first step is have your meal planner and your shopping list handy. Second step is have a couple Doesn't have to be 3, could it be 1 recipe books that you are really inspired by at the moment. Now, go through these recipe books, pick out, and I'm not saying you have to cook a new meal every single day. Pick a couple that you can try out during the week. When you're trying new recipes, I don't recommend that you try a new recipe every single night because you're going to overwhelm yourself with a lot more work than you need to be doing. So plan out your breakfast for the week. And so I usually have smoothies for breakfast. So what I do is I pick out 2 smoothies for the week, and then I have them for 2 or 3 days at a time. I love that. I love my smoothies, so I don't mind having them more than once. But it just means that I only have to make breakfast twice a week. Let's not make life difficult for ourselves here. So that's what I do. The second thing is that, the third tip for today is cook once, eat twice. So let's be smart about our eating here, guys. We're all busy people. We all have a lot to do, and we all still want to eat great food. So there is no reason why you can't cook enough at dinner time that you can have for lunch the next day. Oftentimes, we feel like, because we're working from home, or, whatever the case may be, we might feel like, I can make a salad at lunch, or I'll have time to make lunch. But come lunchtime, you're running around doing other stuff, and then you just grab a pot of, 2-minute noodles because you don't have time. Whereas if that food is already made and all you have to do is heat it up, you're going to eat it, aren't you? So the thing here is to cook once, eat twice. So when you're planning your meals, do it in a way that you don't have to cook as much. And what can you be doing on the weekend that is going to help you during the week if you are someone who is time poor? So I did a video last week about how I do a lot of meal prep on Sundays, which only literally takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. And it means that I've got breakfast made usually for at least 3 days of the week. I've got a batch of veggies cooked up so that I can just add it to my meals, lunches or dinners. And I usually cut up like the big ticket items like the butternuts or whatever you've got going on, so that during the week you don't have to sit there peeling your butternut or whatever you have to do. It's already cut up for you. So the bonus tip that I want to give you today is when you're doing your meal plans like this, right? Don't throw them out, keep them. Because what I do is when I feel like I'm super busy, or for some reason the weekend was really busy and I don't have time to look through my recipe books or whatever, I sometimes just pull out an old recipe plan and use it. Or look at it and go, oh yeah, I don't feel like that today, I'll just swap those 2 around, and I made that last week, so I'll put that in here. Like, really guys, let's not make life difficult for each other. I have probably a stack. I think I've got these from the beginning of the year, actually. Like, these are all my recipe plans from this year. Now, if I was, next week we've got a wedding happening. So Sunday's probably going to be a busy day of catching up, getting things done. And so I might not have time to sit here and go through my recipe books. I also might not feel inspired. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like sitting there and going through them. And so what I might do is just pull one out and go, oh yeah, that looks like a good one. I'll just have that this week. How long did that take you? And so as I'm going through my recipes, I'm going, yeah, I'm going to have that for dinner. I'm going to have that for lunch as well the next day. I'm going to have that for dinner. I'm going to have that for lunch the next day. What I do is, as I'm looking in the books, I'm going, oh yeah, I need macadamia nuts. Yeah, I need a bag of spinach. Yeah, I need, I don't know, cayenne pepper or some dates. And I'm writing that down as I'm going on my shopping list. So once you finish that process of writing on your meal planner, writing on your shopping list, I just order it all online. I do my online shopping, it gets delivered. Don't have to go out to the shops. If that's what you like to do, if you like going out and you have the time, I have nothing against that. But if you feel like you are time poor and you don't want to go out and spend an hour, however long it takes you, 2 hours to go out to your shopping, come back, unpack it all, do it online. Make it easy for you. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. It's all about being smart with the way you do things so that those healthy decisions and those healthy choices are not made in the moment, because when they're made in the moment, it's often when we make a decision that we regret later. Like, oh, I wish I hadn't had that for lunch because now I don't feel great. Or I really wish I'd stuck to my plan because, now I don't feel great, or whatever your story is. So taking those decisions out and already knowing what you're going to have for the week, already having a list of things that you're going to buy. So, when you go to the shops, you don't have to go, oh, what do I feel like this week for dinner? Like, it's all there ready for you to go. And another tip is when you're doing this process, always do it after dinner or after a meal, or when you're not hungry. Because a lot of the time when we're hungry, you know, we all know not to go grocery shopping when we're starving hungry, because we buy things that we think, and we always buy it at the checkout, like all the chocolates and that's in there because we're starving hungry and we haven't eaten for days. So always like think about the way you do it and think, how can I do this in a smarter way? How can I support my goals? What are my goals? And, you know, why do I want to achieve them? But what can I do to make those sticking to that goal easier? What can I do that's going to make it a no-brainer for me to stick to that goal? If my meals are planned, if my shopping's already written down, all I have to do is online or go to the shops. That decision for you to stay healthier or stick to your goal is going to be so much easier than you going, oh, what am I going to have for lunch today? So, I hope that message was interesting. I hope it was useful for a Sunday. I often do this, most of the time I do this on a Wednesday because I like my shopping to be delivered on Fridays. It sets me up for the week. I don't, you know, I've got fresh food for the weekend, etc. Yeah, pick your day. Make sure it works for you. If anyone needs a free meal plan, I'm happy to give mine away. I will put a link in there so you guys can download it if you need it. And if you have any recipe books that you love to use when you plan your meals, let me know because I'm always looking for new inspiration. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week and I will speak to you soon.